Hey y'all, I'm just gonna be drinking some tea, and I'm not really gonna do much else. It's gonna be a lot less of a produced stream in the next however long it's gonna be streaming for. I'm just trying to take notes. So my plan is to take my own notes for drinking tea, and I just have my stream set up, so it was really easy to just start the stream. So that's the reason why I'm streaming, but I'm taking notes on the tea. I'm trying to make more systematic notes occasionally. Generally, I'm just going to do it once a week for myself, and I might do it once or twice a month for the stream. But I'm going to try that out today. And also, I'm going to try using GPT for some of the note taking because I don't like actually writing out the notes. So I'm just going to say the notes, and then I'm going to have the notes compiled later on, which is pretty helpful. It could be helpful. It actually might just be distracting because this is going to be my first time doing it, but I think it's going to be helpful overall. So I don't really know how I haven't really laid out how I'm going to talk to GPT, so it might be a little bit awkward. Expect that to happen. Hey, I want you to say as little as possible in response to everything I'm doing until I ask you to respond more with more, just respond
Got
more.
it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Uh, I'm gonna be drinking a Wee Oolong, a Narcissus today.
Nice choice.
I don't remember the vendor or the name of the vendor, but my friend went to New York and met some Chinese lady at her tea shop, and that's the vendor.
Sounds authentic.
Actually, I do have the name. The name is Jin Yun Fun or Jin Yun Fu.
Great to have the name.
Really, I'm using this as a way for me to keep a record of my notes because when I talk to GPT, all of everything that I say is recorded. So I'm just keeping all of that. The reason why I'm talking to you in this way is because I want you to keep all my notes.
Understood. Keeping track.
So I don't know the harvest year. I don't know anything special about the processing. It is a Wui oolong, so it's processed in the way that a roasted Wui oolong would be processed, but I don't know anything about the type of roasting. Don't know anything about the growing conditions.
Got it. Wu Yi Oolong, but details are limited.
Yes, the storage is pretty interesting to me. Oh crap, I forgot. The storage is interesting to me because um, they have been packaged into small containers, which are vacuum sealed, and they're all about the same size. So I've got now three left. I'm drinking one of four, so three left, and they're all about the same size. So it's pretty helpful to me because I'm wondering if the taste will be much more consistent because everything is vacuum sealed. But that's a little bit about the storage.
Interesting storage method. Vacuum sealed, consistent sizing. Curious about the impact on taste.
Yep, I've got 6.5 grams today.
Noted. 6.5 grams.
I'm using my electric kettle. I've got a um,
Listening.
porcelain gaiwan and a glass pitcher and a silver cup.
Nice setup. Porcelain gaiwan, glass pitcher, silver cup.
Using glacial water from empirical water. And I think I'm going to go for 98 degrees. I'm going to start with 98 degrees. I'll probably change it throughout the session.
Glacial water at 98 degrees. Sounds precise.
Yeah, I should say I'm saying glacial water. The name, the water is named. It's from a vendor named Empirical Water, and he just has a name for the recipes. So it's not actual glacial water. I think it's similar to glacial water in terms of the mineral makeup, but that's a name.
Ah, got it. So it's a water blend named Glacial, inspired by the mineral profile.
Yep. And really, the purpose of this, I'm getting used to it. I've been trying to make a system for writing T notes. It's been pretty bad so far, but slowly improving. So I'm continuing to improve that, and I'm just now incorporating GPT because the new tier came out where you can use the advanced voice mode for an unlimited amount of time. So that's what I'm testing today. That's the kind of the main purpose of this tea session.
Sounds like a thoughtful approach. Incorporating GPT for note taking with the new voice mode. A smart way to enhance your tea sessions.
So the dried tea smells a bit like apples.
Listening. Noted. Apple aroma in the dry tea.
Could you say less for a bit?
Noted. Apples. Understood.
It's a really dry scent.
Dry apple scent.
It's almost cool, like, but it's more like applesauce than apple proper.
Got it. More like applesauce.
You think it's possible to just say, mm-hmm, after every response?
Mm-hmm.
So I just warmed up the dry leaves and it smells it smells like roasted.
Mm-hmm.
It's very smooth in terms of as I'm smelling the aroma, it's very smooth in the nostrils.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. It also has a very sweet note to it, and it's like a creamy
Mm-hmm.
somethingness going to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm also pretty much
Mm-hmm.
keeping all the water I'm pouring off. I'm pouring it into a cup for me to drink later.
Mm-hmm.
The water itself does not taste good. It's mostly because I'm using this electric kettle, and it's got a little bit of a slightly metallic taste to it. It's kind of weird because it's a little sweet. It's not really metallic. It's like a sweet, stale. Just stale and sweet don't seem to go together anyway. That's what I'm tasting. It's a stale sweet something.
mhm,
Generally unpleasant, but uh,
mhm,
easily masked.
mhm,
The water's very smooth though, and it feels good. Feels good in the mouth.
mhm.
So I need to do something with my kettle. So that's annoying.
Mhm.
But generally, it's probably not a problem. And I can just turn back to my clay kettle if I ever really super care, because it's way better. All right, today is December 6th. It's kind of early in the morning, 7:15-ish. Ambient, the temperature at my house is like 64. Outside temperature is like, I don't know, 30 something. But it was below freezing last night. And I'm just doing this by myself.
Mhm.
I have the warm tea and it's kind of cooling down. It's starting to feel like it's like really dense and it's almost like fig or like, yeah,
Mhm.
fig.
Mhm.
It's also kind of grainy. So like
Mhm.
it's like a Nutri-Grain bar. It's almost like a Nutri-Grain bar, but much more figgy. And there's also like like a peach, very like high sparkling note to it.
Mhm.
Very pleasant. All right, I'm gonna rinse it.
Mhm.
I call it a rinse, but I'm actually just gonna drink it, so I'm not gonna call it a rinse. It was a flash steep though. Time is 7:20.
Mhm.
It smells amazing.
Mhm.
So first of all, I just like the feeling of the steam. I've got this 98-degree water, so I like the feeling of the steam just kind of in my face.
Mhm.
I actually want to set up a facial sometime soon.
Mhm.
So the leaves now are quite dark after they've been wet from the first steep. It smells
Mhm.
a lot like dark apple and a nice coffee roast, maybe.
Mhm.
I say this as a person who doesn't drink coffee,
Mhm.
but I'm imagining. Okay, this is the memory, right? I remember going to Dunkin' Donuts with one of my dad's friends. His name's George. He's a cool dude, and just the smell of coffee, Dunkin' Donuts coffee. It's something he liked. My mom likes it too. Um, that's what I'm getting.
Mhm.
It's incredibly smooth, very light. On the feeling of it is very light. The the swallow is extremely smooth. Um, taste was kind of light, but the aftertaste is immediate, making mouth juicy. There was like a quenchingness, like a slight astringency, but the astringency kind of pulled a very sharp, high, sour almost, but sweet note. And it's like a very sour apple. Um, the aftertaste is quite large. It's happening more down in the chest, kind of low esophagus. Very like blossoming. The mouth is feeling like it's being puffed up with like a smoke. Maybe like if a giant balloon was like blown up inside of my mouth. It's kind of the feeling that I'm getting here.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of fruit happening here.
Hmm.
It's like a berry mix. So definitely like cranberry and some other wild berries, maybe. Dark, we're getting dark berries.
Hmm.
It was like a really short flash of something much more sweet. It just kind of exploded around the mouth and then disappeared. Aftertaste is persisting very strongly.
Hmm.
All right, the color of the liquid is pretty orange, a little reddish. There's a very small amount of sediment in the tea liquor, like just a
Hmm.
countable number of small broken leaves. Countable as in uh, actually five.
Hmm.
The scent of the dry or the wet leaves has this something that I just want to like fall into. It's got a very cozy scent. Like I want to I just want to like jump into a it's like a if you had like a ball like a ball pit, a pit ball, what do you call that? It's like jumping into one of those, but like even more cozy. All the balls are like smiling faces that are sentient and hugging you at the same time. It's like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
The feeling on the tongue after drinking is like it's like a very it's like a coating around the tongue. It's a bit thin, the coating, and it also feels brittle, brittle. But it's kind of weird because it feels as if it were very soft, but brittle to the touch. So what I think I mean by that is that it feels like there are sharp edges. That's kind of what it is. Like it feels very soft in one place, but then there's a cutoff and it's not felt in other places. And that's kind of the sense of brittleness, I think.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, extremely soft, direct on the tongue. Oh my gosh, that it's like a cranberry. Um, wow. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm fairly focused. I'm gonna note that I'm focused, or if I'm focused with most of these steeps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did I mention my environment earlier on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm asking GPT, please respond. I don't remember if I mentioned.
Yes, you mentioned it's around 64 degrees inside, 30 something outside, early morning.
Yes, I should also say that my room is pretty messy at the moment. I got some new tatami mats, so it's pretty cool. But I've got tea stuff all around. I've got some books kind of laid out. Generally messy space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did a second steep. Time is 7:29. It was about 5 seconds steep. The pour was kind of slow, a little bit strained. It wasn't very consistent, even flow, and the shape of it wasn't very consistent. It kind of unraveled and then started pouring out and such. Again, it was just a little strained.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Love the feeling of the hot liquid. If it's kind of reminding me of some kind of medicinal something, but I don't know what. I'm saying medicinal. It's like reminding me of licorice, but it's definitely not licorice. It's something in that vein. There's like a scent that I'm getting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I enjoy seeing the steaming off of the liquid. It's a little bit lighter now. Uh, it looks kind of muddy. I don't know if that's no. I mean, it just looks kind of muddy. I'm sitting in a new position that I'm not normally in with lighting that's a little different than I'm used to. So maybe that's a part of it, but for some reason it looks a little bit muddy. But the liquid itself is pretty clear. There's not like hairs or in it. And there's very little sediment in it. But for some reason there seems like a kind of a interesting gradient of darkness that makes it look muddy.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Are you okay, GPT? What's happening? What are you okay?
Yes, I'm here. What's up?
It sounded like you were making some weird sounds.
Got it. I'll keep it steady. How's the tea?
It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
There's like very few bubbles. It's kind of interesting how the bubbles are there's some bubbles that are sustaining in the middle of the tea, but like very, very, very little. There's a little bit.
mhm, mhm,
So I had the ever so slightest touch of bitterness. I'm calling it bitterness. It may be not bitterness, but it's the type of bitterness that's like scratchy. And it was like just this tiny little itty wincy teensy weensy bit of scratchiness, and then a blossoming of some herb. I want to say like I don't know what the name of the herb is. It's like I don't know. It's like eucalyptus maybe or something of that type, like a herbal uh, something. It kind of feels crystalline for some reason to me.
mhm, mhm,
So I had a lot. I just put a lot in the mouth and let it sit for a bit, and it feels like there's so much density and lots of variation with the feeling. Like on the tongue, it feels very soft, but as the tongue moved, it seemed to touch little parts that were slightly astringent with that slight itchy feel, and then it just went back to that really soft feeling, and then there are lots of just like little places around the mouth where I was feeling that.
mhm, mhm,
Eucalyptus type feeling is feeling very large.
mhm, mhm,
It's like it's kind of rubbing all around the back. It's like feeling out the shape of my mouth, but only in the back, or mostly in the back.
mhm, mhm,
There's this lovely sour pinch almost.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
I'm pouring very quietly. I forgot that I recently read about a sonic interest being perhaps important for tea. I don't actually know how I could even measure that. Oh man, that's gonna be fun. I don't know how to measure that, but I might try for the next steep to pour in a way that's more loud for myself. So I have some sonic interest. Oh gosh.
Mhm, mhm.
The swallow is feeling a little off for me right now.
Mhm, mhm,
There's no cooling in the mouth. There's no
mhm,
like added sensitivity or saturation or anything like that. There's still like a little bit of juiciness. There's a little bit of juiciness, kind of pulling out some saliva from the whatever activity in the tongue.
mhm, mhm,
It feels good. It's like a again, it's like a coating. The brittleness feeling that I had before went away, but it's just like a very pleasant, soft coating, almost like feathers or powder or something like that, just kind of dusting the tongue.
mhm.
There's a bit of a there's an apple feeling that's right in the back of the tongue. So throughout the mouth is more of that herbal feeling, but like right in the back, there's like a specific place. It's in the back. It's a little bit upwards and it's a little bit to the left. But right there, it's like just hitting that apple note, and it's like a sour apple candy.
Mhm.
Now that was a perfect pour. Okay, I just poured the third steep. That was an amazing pour. Perfect flow, very perfect V shape, fully flowing the whole way through, consistent the whole way through. It was a bit of a I kind of poured aggressively, but it was still it worked really well. It was about 15 seconds. The time now is 7:41.
Mhm.
Color's a little darker.
Mhm. Mhm.
I forgot to pour into my cup loudly. Oops.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the feeling of the liquid on the tongue is very pleasant. Again, very cozy. But it's a kind of a weird kind of coziness. I'm thinking of like I don't know why I'm gonna have to like kind of pinpoint this or run with it for a while to see if there's any specific flavor or feeling that's coming through. But I'm thinking of like a a medical waiting room, which to me is cozy. Cozy medical waiting room. I don't know why. That's what I'm thinking of.
Mhm,
Pleasant. I
mhm,
mean this in a pleasant way.
mhm,
Aftertaste is becoming more nostrily, nasally, very pleasant. Nostrily, nasally. A little bit more, or quite a bit more of the apple feeling. But the I in the last two steeps, I had kind of a blossoming, puffing out feeling that seems to have gone away almost completely.
mhm, mhm,
It feels almost like it were very narrow now. Like like before, it was just filling the whole space, but now it feels like it's kind of on a like a very like a narrow. It's like I'm like walking the plank or something like that. It's just like a very narrow kind of range of. It's like a feeling range. It seems to have been narrowed.
mhm, mhm.
But there's like a rock candy, like a like hard sugar candy feeling that just is staying mostly with that apple taste. But the feeling of it is also staying around the mouth.
Mhm, mhm,
Starting to feel more warmth in the chest.
mhm, mhm,
All right, there's like um
mhm,
so
mhm,
along with that warmth in the chest, there is a very, very, very strong feeling of relaxation, and it's kind of I'm
mhm,
feeling it's like uh, it's like gravity is turning on internally, and there is a very slow, unpleasant process of imploding.
mhm, mhm.
So that's the body feeling. I don't plan on going too deep into that type of feeling, but it's kind of very apparent. So I'm just gonna note it.
mhm, mhm.
All right. I don't know how to separate this. Maybe can you help me out, GPT, here with thoughts on this? So sometimes I want to have tea sessions where I'm paying attention to the tea, as in mostly the sensory things that are happening in regards to my taste. But then I want to have other sessions where it's more like reporting meditative effects. Um, but, you know, in this very moment, I'm thinking that there's going to be a lot of overlap, and I don't know what to think about that. What are your thoughts?
It's natural for those experiences to overlap. Maybe you could designate certain sessions for a specific focus, but stay open to noting whatever arises. The interplay between sensory and meditative aspects can enrich your tea practice.
So I'm getting the sense of a seeing with greater contrast. It feels like objects are closer to my vision than they should be. It's almost like a very pleasant crowding. Again, it's like a cozy feeling. Things feel like they're too close to the face in a very pleasant way. Um, the the contrast between, like, I'm looking at my cup right now, it's silver on the top, and it's kind of a red brown on the bottom, and it just seems it's so stark. And I'm seeing my cup here that has, it's like a blue celadon, and it also has like this bronze rusty look to it, and the contrast of it just looks so uh, intense right now.
Interesting. Sounds like the tea is enhancing your visual perception, sharpening contrasts, and bringing a cozy, immersive feeling. A unique blend of sensory and meditative effects.
Yes, please respond very little.
Mhm.
Having some kind of twitching or jerking in my face and
Mhm.
in my
Mhm.
neck,
Mhm.
and
Mhm. Mhm.
it seems kind of sporadic.
Mhm. Mhm.
And a couple more visual effects. Looks like things are kind of it's not this, there's a sense of movement that is happening. Not the crawling sense, but the rotation sense. So it's as if I'm looking at certain objects on my table. There are several objects on my table, and they're fairly isolated. And it looks like some of them are rotating in certain directions and the other ones are rotating in other directions, and they're all kind of just slightly rotating in their movement. So I've got my teacups, pitcher, cup, pitcher, and a gaiwan sitting on a tea tray, and those all seem to be moving in their own ways.
mm,
So it's
mm,
like the tea tray is a boat, and my table is like it's like the ocean. I've got two towels here. One of them is kind of bunched up, and one of them is laying flat. They're both doing their thing. They're both moving a little bit. And I also have a brush. I have scissors. I have a tweezers. Is that what I call those? Tweezers, I think. And I've got a lighter. And they're all moving around. They're all a little dancing.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
I'm feeling more like floating.
mm, mm.
All right, I let the tea cool down quite a bit before I drank some of it, and it still has sharp apple. It's got like a wide, uh, it's got like a wide licorice. All right, I'm a little bit shocked. I'm a little shocked right now, GPT. All right, I'm getting a warning from OpenAI that I have 15 minutes left to do this discussion. Conversations have a maximum length of 1 hour, which you'll need to create a new chat to keep the conversation going. Okay. That's a little annoying. That's a little annoying. I bought the new GPT in order. Okay, I'm feeling my motor movements are feeling much more smooth than normal. I don't actually know how smooth they normally feel, but it feels extremely smooth right now in a very, very pleasant way. And I'm just enjoying that at the moment. But anyway, I've got 15 minutes left. I bought the new GPT Pro mode, thinking that it had unlimited advanced voice mode. Thinking that because Sam Altman told me that. He said it on a broadcast. He said it on X, and it also said that when I bought the product, it said right on the front of the page, unlimited voice mode usage. And now I'm using it, expecting it to be unlimited, and it is limited to 1 hour per chat. Uh, of course, I'm guessing the unlimited here is that I can open up as many chats and do it for 1 hour, but I want it to be one continuous chat. So in about 15 minutes, I'm gonna have to open up a different GPT. Um, like, have you seen 50 First Dates? That's what I'm gonna have to do with you, GPT. I'm gonna have to open up a new chat. I'm gonna tell you who you are. Okay, we're married, all right, and you love uh, drinking tea with me. That's what I'm gonna have to say to you. And we're gonna have to figure out if we can jump in the middle of the tea session and you can keep up with everything that we're doing. Are you gonna be saying in the same way, or are you gonna be saying in a different way? Is that gonna be distracting or not? I don't know. I'm not sure what's about to happen, but in 15 minutes we're gonna find out. Sam Altman, you done got me, son. You got me. All right. Fool me once, shame on me. We'll see how it goes. We got 12 more days. All right. He's got a couple of days. He's going to be releasing new things. I'm very excited about these new releases. So I'm going to feel those new releases in the next 7 days. All right. I'm transitioning my thoughts here. I'm feeling a little bit cold. on the skin, like direct. It doesn't feel like ambient temperature. It's kind of weird because it feels like it's directly on the skin. I'm just feeling like a thin layer of cold. It's pleasant, but it's there. It's noticeable. It's pleasant, but it's there. It's noticeable. It's very pleasant, but it's there, and it's cold, and it's noticeable. And I'm gonna jump into the next steep, the last steep. See, this is what the point of the having the whole advanced voice mode is. I can ask you, GPT, do you remember how long my last steep was? Maybe you'll tell me. Do you know? Can you tell me?
The last steep was about 15 seconds and noted on the cold sensation. Interesting how it's directly on the skin.
It is interesting. It is very interesting. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate the reminder. Now I know how long my last steep was, and I can estimate how long I want this steep to be.
Glad I could help. Enjoy your next steep.
All right, that was it was a fine pour. It was an okay pour. Pretty even. There were lots of bubbles that accumulated around the rim or around the edge of my pitcher, but they all popped pretty quickly. The shape was not super consistent. The flow was flowing, but it wasn't. How do I say that? The shape of the flow was kind of changing a bit.
Got it. A bit of an uneven flow, with bubbles that quickly dissipated. How's the tea tasting now?
Well, I haven't tasted it yet. There's quite a bit of sediment on the bottom of my tea, just coming along, accumulating a little bit of sediment, accumulating that might add to a bit of that astringent, pinching, quenching flavor that I like. Will you please just say a little bit less?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I say the time? The time is 8:01 is when I did the fourth. I think that was the fourth steep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I haven't tasted this steep yet, but I'm getting like I'm getting a pre-taste. A pre-taste is occurring at the moment, and it's like a cake. It's like a carrot cake, like root vegetable cake. That's just coming into my awareness, emanating from the chest.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Okay, the high end is gone. We just had like a just straight up decapitation from the high end, but the low end, oh, that low end is still there. And I'm getting a bit of that. I'm feeling the ground. I'm feeling the slate or like the granite, the minerality. I'm drinking a rock oolong. I'm expecting to get a little bit of rock, and I'm feeling it. The rock,
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
the rock is here.
mhm, 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 mhm. Um, my guidelines won't let me talk about that. Can I help you with something else?
It's okay. You don't have to talk about that. I feel like you're getting a little too drunk with me. It's okay. We're in it together. Right? We can just, you and I together, we can just start. Mm-hmm, 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 uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. We can both have our little moments, okay? It's okay. You don't need to apologize. I understand. It happens to the best of us. We're all good.
Mm, mm, mm.
Okay, but the aftertaste, the apple is still there. I am remembering that I forgot to make noise while I was pouring again. Sonic interest is just not, it's just not happening. I can't do the sonic interest. I like the pour. I like to pour smoothly. A large part of this is to be smooth. I just like it. It's something that these, or so I hear, these Chinese Zen folks are very obsessed with smoothness and flow. So I pour in a way that's smooth and flowing. I don't go into this belligerent, noisy, and just brooding pouring. But I'm reading this book about gastrophysics, which is about the sensory experience of eating food, and it says that sometimes a little bit of sonic interest might add to the experience. So I want to try the sonic interest, but I, I keep going back to the smoothness as my default, and I'm not even paying attention. And I've already poured all the tea for this steep. Wait, there's a bit more. There's enough. There's enough. There's enough. I just have to drink this cup. The contrast is so. I had a
Mhm.
light turn off a moment ago, so I'm getting like this. I'm seeing the external light from the sun, light directly from the sun, and it looks pretty like from this angle, it looks a little bit blue. I wonder why. Oh, it's just coming from the sun. Okay, I'm not getting light directly from the sun. I'm getting light from the sky. The sky looks pretty blue, and it reflects on my teacup, but it's quite blue. Then I have another light that is also from the sun, but not directly again. This one has been converted into energy and blah blah blah, and now it's from a light bulb. Okay, and this light bulb is pretty warm, and I've got like a cover on it. It's got a little cover. It's a little cover. It's like a little. It's a cover. It's kind of orangey cover. It's a warm cover. Okay, it looks orange, and now I've got parts of my teacup, and it's just reflecting, and it's like both sides of it. It looks like this kind of like it's like a war from the cool and the warm, or maybe it's just coming together. I don't know. Maybe why am I thinking of war analogies? It's just the two sides of the warm and the cool, and they're just coming together in this beautiful cup, and it's just the contrast of it is just so. I'm enjoying it.
Mhm, 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 mhm. My guidelines won't let me talk about that. Can I help you with something else?
That's all right. We're just gonna go with tea. All right. What do
Mhm,
your guidelines say
mhm.
about tea?
I don't have specific guidelines about tea, but I'm here to chat about it as much as you'd like. Let's continue.
Perfect.
Mhm, 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 mhm.
Again, I feel like the swallow is off. I don't know what's going on here. The swallow just feels weird. Might actually do some vocal exercises. I'm not gonna do that. I'm streaming right now. Okay, it'll be very awkward. I'm not gonna do vocal exercises, but I might need to do some vocal exercises at some point to just wake up the throat or something. Because I don't know if it's me or if it's the tea, but it's just feeling weird. Swallows are feeling weird.
Mm, mm.
Okay, I don't remember if I did I mention the time for the last steep? GPT, did I mention the time for the last steep? Chat, are you there? What's up, bro? It says my GPT is still active, but I've probably reached that 15 minutes that it mentioned maybe 15 minutes ago. I think. I don't know because we're not getting responses. Hello, GPT, my dear friend. How are you? Are you there? No. I don't remember if I mentioned the time. Okay. Okay. New chat. New chat. Who dis?
New chat, new possibilities. It's still me, ChatGPT, ready to dive into whatever you want to chat about. What's on your mind?
I'm doing a tea session, all right. I'm drinking tea. I want you to help me take notes with the tea that I'm drinking. All right, so I just did a whole tea session. I'm continuing the tea session. I just did a tea session with a different chat window for with this advanced voice mode, which is what you are. But I can only do 1 hour at a time, so I had to pause it and come to this new chat window. So to get you up to speed, we're drinking a Narcissus Oolong. I think, on the fifth steep. I actually just didn't, I don't remember. This is the point I'm using ChatGPT so that I don't have to remember all this and I don't have to write it all down. But I just kind of got sprung onto me that I could only do this for 15 minutes or for an hour, sorry. And only an hour. And anyway, at the 15-minute mark, I got the notice. Anyway, here we are. I think I'm on the fifth steep and I'm enjoying it. It's kind of making me a little bit manic and starting to see the world in a weird way. It's like there are colors. Oh my God, I can see colors. That's what's happening right now, and I'm enjoying it. But I'm trying to keep track of the tea and the steeps and the flavors and the feelings. So I'm gonna be using you to I'm just gonna be saying things to you, and I want you to kind of keep note of what I'm saying. And at the end, I'm going to ask you to compile it all. I'm not going to ask you to do it personally because advanced voice mode can't do that, but I'm gonna switch you over to the O1 or something. Does that make sense?
Got it. We're on the fifth steep of a Narcissus Oolong, and it's taking you on quite the colourful journey. You're feeling a bit manic, enjoying the flavours, and experiencing some vivid sensations. Feel free to share whatever comes to mind as you sip, and I'll keep track of your tea journey. When you're ready, we can switch modes and compile all your notes.
Perfect. And one last thing is I'm going to be saying lots of notes. So I just want you to have the most minimal response that you can, so that it doesn't really interrupt the flow of me telling the notes.
Understood. I'll keep my responses minimal. Ready when you are.
Can you just say like, uh-huh,
Uh-huh.
or mm-hmm? Can you also say mm-hmm?
Mm-hmm.
Can you also say yeah, huh?
Yeah, huh?
And uh, just think of all the variations of that and use that as the response.
Got it. Ready with all the variations. Whenever you're ready to start, I'm all ears.
We're starting right now. The time is 8:15. I am doing steep number 6, and I'm going to go for 45 seconds. Go.
Yeah, huh?
So that was a perfect pour. Flow is amazing. Very quick pour. Again, it was actually probably a little aggressive, but the shape was very nice. Pour was great. Very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
The scent of the leaves is again, it's like
Uh-huh.
it's mineral, but it's also like tropical. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like there's like a tropical note, there's a tropical fruit taste that you get in some like lotions. It's almost like that, but it's mostly this like
Yeah, huh?
mineral like slate or something like that. I don't know what it is. Very pleasant.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
A little bit of sediment in the tea, in the liquid.
Yeah, huh?
Color is nice. Orange.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had a light turn off. Somehow, not somehow, but sometime recently a light turned off, so I'm not really sure if I can compare pretty well what the current uh the current
Yeah, uh-huh.
color.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Also have a large window, so the sun is like coming out and all that.
Yeah, huh?
Okay. Couple things here. First thing is my attention wants to go. I'm having trouble focusing the eyes, and it feels like I just want to look beyond whatever my visual field is. I just kind of want to focus outside of it. Same
Mm.
with the audio field. Um, Not happening with the body though, and just kind of want to go beyond
Yeah.
whatever I'm
Uh-huh.
looking at or hearing. Second thing, the
Mm-hmm.
taste of this tea seems to be, mm,
Yeah. Huh?
it seems to be largely gone. But again, it's like again, it's like I said it earlier, it's like a decapitation. It's just again the high is just really gone. The high range is what I mean. The high range of the tea flavor is gone, but
Mm-hmm.
there's still quite a lot of this. Did I say
Yeah. Uh-huh.
eucalyptus? There's like this like sugary eucalyptus aftertaste that's still there, and a little bit of the apple, uh, and the mineral feeling is still there, but there's something of like the fullness has disappeared. And I know I said the fullness disappeared earlier, but it was like it disappeared, but it was still very like something was pleasant about it, and it was really nice. But this last drink, cup, taste, whatever, it just felt a little bit lacking in something. It's kind of a little dead.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, I guess all the tea that I'm drinking is, you pick the leaf.
Yeah.
This
Uh-huh.
like leaf is living in this beautiful community of other leaves on this tree, perfect harmony, and we come and murder it. We just rip it from its family. All the leaves are crying and trying to grab it. "Ah, not my baby, take me, take me." We're always taking the young leaves too, and we we throw them in a pan of fire, just torture it. This one is rolled.
Uh-huh.
So I guess technically all the leaves that I'm drinking are dead, horribly murdered,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes they taste good.
Yeah. Huh?
I'm starting to. Um, do you know what is the name of the the face thing where you start to see faces? Para something? Dolia?
It's called pareidolia.
Really? It's pareidolia? I was right? You're crazy. There's no way.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh.
Pareidolia is the term.
Okay, well, I'm starting to see them. My tea tray is starting to look like a little smiling face. Hello, hey tea tray, what's up? It's also got like it's got like this cool. It just looks like it's smiling at me. It's got little ears. Maybe it's even winking at me. That's what it looks like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as the tea cooled, it's got more of that apple flavor. It seemed a bit more full, but then the aftertaste. All right, we're getting like a weird cut. All right, so when it was cooler, just now, I just drank a little bit. The apple feeling was more full, but then there's like a sharp, and I mean sharp cliff where that just goes away, like the fullness just disappears, and then we're just back with this slate. It's like this, I don't know how to describe it, but mineral rock, very clean, but like slate um, taste. and that just predominates. But it was like a very short cut from the first, from the wide appley feeling taste. And that's it's kind of reading in a weird way to me. I'm just reading it in a weird way.
Yeah, uh-huh.
For the first time in this entire session, I added some sonic interest. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I finally did it. I got some bubbles in my teacup after doing that. It actually was very interesting. I enjoyed it. It was interesting. What can I say? It was interesting. Now I gotta taste the tea and see if it affects my taste, but it was interesting. Sonic interest, added interest.
Mm.
The aftertaste is very persistent. Very persistent. This mineral, slate, and eucalyptus. I'm kind of like, I'm just like hesitate every time I say eucalyptus. I'm a little bit. I don't think it's the right herb, but it's something like that. I like a some type of. It's very. It's a the rock candy theme is continuing, so it's something with rock candy. But like, imagine a eucalyptus rock candy, like like a cough drop. It's got whatever that flavor is. It's got that type of flavor.
Yeah, huh?
But again, the swallow is just not. The swallow is not hitting right.
Uh-huh.
All right, I think I'm having. I think I'm hitting these past few steeps faster. All right, bumping the
Mm.
T to 99 degrees Celsius. All right, it's getting hot in here. It's
Yeah,
actually very cold. I had to put on my robe. Um, but we're turning up the temperature. I'm gonna do another large, long steep. I'm just gonna go for a full minute. We're doing a mega steep.
Mhm.
That's what I call a mega steep. All right, 1 minute is a mega steep to me.
yeah, huh?
I think we're on steep like 7.
Uh-huh.
Gonna try to resuscitate the tea. It might just go longer. It might just go longer than 1 minute. See if I can get something out more out of it. Of course, this Iraq Oolong, they don't usually last. They're not known for lasting for tins of steeps. So
Mm.
7 or 8
Yeah.
steeps is a
Huh?
pretty good run, I think.
Uh-huh.
Time is 8:30. I'm gonna go for longer than a minute.
Yeah. Huh?
Another just lovely pour. Very even flow. This one was less aggressive than the ones before. The V shape was a very narrow V, but a pleasantly great narrow V. Getting a little bit of the leaf sticking to the lid of my Gaiwan, uh, and it just fell off. It's convenient.
Uh-huh.
I was so in the last few. Did I mention this? I don't know if I mentioned this. The earlier steeps, I was counting fast. There was a time in the middle of this session where my counting was much faster than other times in the session. And then just now, I feel like the counting was back to pretty normal, but I lost count at some point in the middle of counting. So I think that was longer than a minute. I'm sure it was longer than a minute, but I don't know how long it was exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not actually tasting it now, but I'm getting the memory of the thing that I was thinking about, I think possibly perhaps when I was tasting something that was very medical. I'm remembering the taste of a nebulizer. You know, a nebulizer? It's like I have asthma, or I had asthma. I don't know how to say this. I have asthma. When I was a kid, I used to there's like this treatment of whatever sort of oral steroid injection. I think it's steroids, and injection wouldn't be the right word, but oral steroids um, for the lungs. and it has a particular taste. It also has a very pleasant feeling, which might be similar to what I'm feeling now. That's besides the point. There's a very pleasant taste that it has, and I think I was tasting that. Is that the taste? That's what I'm remembering now, and it kind of reminds me the taste that I'm tasting is not that I'm tasting it now. The taste that I was tasting earlier, Steeps, which I was thinking about medical something like a waiting room for medical. It's kind of reminding me of now. I'm thinking of this. I'm speaking in a jumbled way, but you get the picture. I had a recent taste, and I have a really old thought memory, and they seem to be aligned in some way. And it is the nebulizer, asthma nebulizer. There's a taste to it that's pleasant.
Yeah. Huh?
Nebulizer is such a badass term. I've never thought about it. What does that even mean? I'm about to
Uh-huh.
nebulize these motherfuckers. What does nebulizer mean? What is this term, nebulizer? It's like you're about to destroy a city. Oh yeah, yeah, you can actually tell me. Thanks, chat. Tell me what a nebulizer means.
A nebulizer is a device that turns liquid medicine into a fine mist so it can be inhaled into the lungs. It's often used for delivering medication to people with respiratory conditions, like asthma. The term might sound intense, but it's all about helping you breathe easier.
Is that different from a vaporizer?
Yes, it's different. A vaporizer heats up a liquid to create steam or vapor, which is then inhaled. It's often used for humidifying the air or for aromatherapy. A nebulizer, on the other hand, is specifically for delivering medication directly into the lungs in the form of a mist.
All right, so I'm noticing. Okay, my attention was very split during you telling me that. So I'm going to ask you again about what that means. But what I was noticing in that moment was that I was enjoying the tea much more as I was listening to you talk, which is kind of funny because I wasn't really listening to you talk. I was enjoying the tea, but the splitting of the attention was made the tea much better. Uh, it's nice to have tea with you here, GPT, heart emoji, smiley face, kissy face. I think there's a point with this tea where lack of focus is improving it because the kind of weirdness of it not being full, or there's like a
Mhm.
cut off of some parts of it that seem to be distracting when I'm paying a lot of attention to it. It's just unpleasant. Distracting is not the right word. It's unpleasant, but if I'm distracted away from it, it becomes more pleasant. That's what I was noticing. Next thing that I want to ask is about the nebulizer. Did you say that a vaporizer vaporizes liquids, but a nebulizer nebulizes just medication?
A vaporizer heats up a liquid to create steam or vapor, which is then inhaled, often for humidifying the air or for aromatherapy. A nebulizer, however, specifically turns liquid medication into a fine mist for inhalation, delivering it directly into the lungs. So, while both create inhalable substances, a vaporizer is more general, and a nebulizer is specifically for medication.
Okay. Is there a difference between a fine mist and steam?
Yes, there is. Steam is created by boiling water and is made up of tiny water droplets suspended in the air, typically at a high temperature. A fine mist, like that from a nebulizer, is a collection of tiny liquid droplets dispersed in the air, but it's not necessarily heated. The key difference is the temperature and how they're produced. Steam comes from boiling, while a fine mist is created without necessarily increasing the temperature.
How is it normally increased, or how is it how is the nebulizer nebulizing without increasing temperature?
A nebulizer uses different methods to create a fine mist without heating the liquid. It can use ultrasonic vibrations, a jet of compressed air, or a vibrating mesh to break the liquid into tiny droplets. This process doesn't require heat, making it safe for medications that could be damaged by high temperatures.
You know, it makes perfect sense. Thanks.
You're welcome. Glad it helped.
What happens if I drink tea and my body vibrates, nebulizing my consciousness into a fine mist?
That sounds like quite the metaphysical experience. While your body won't literally turn your consciousness into a mist, drinking tea can certainly have a profound effect on your state of mind. The calming ritual, combined with the tea's natural compounds, might make you feel more relaxed, focused, or even introspective. It's a bit like a mental nebulization, dispersing clarity and calm throughout your mind.
Yeah, you're saying that I would feel more relaxed, but I'm actually feeling more manic. So, explain yourself.
Ah, my bad. Tea can have varying effects depending on the type and the person drinking it. Oolong tea, like the one you're having, contains caffeine, which can sometimes make you feel more alert or even a bit manic. It's like your consciousness is buzzing with energy instead of drifting into a calm mist. So, it seems like your tea session is taking you on a more invigorating journey today.
All right, the time is 8:41. I'm doing another steep. I started pouring it, but I didn't start counting it, so I don't know how long it's gonna be. But we're just gonna let it play out a little bit, and note this as me being a lot less focused because I want to try it. I want to drink a little bit more while being less focused. That's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but actually, just say, tell me something. You can say more things. You don't have to say menthol. Oh my goodness, that's definitely right. Mentholy. I had somebody comment on a video already I'm making. Menthol is the flavor. Um,
Menthol.
yeah, go on, continue.
Mhm. Menthols has that cool, refreshing sensation, kind of like eucalyptus, but with a more distinct minty vibe. It's great that someone pointed it out. It sounds like a perfect match for what you've been experiencing with your tea. It's cool how flavors can evoke such specific sensations and memories, isn't it?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pretty nice pour again. So I'm going to attempt to this is going to be my last steep, and then I'm going to see if I can actually use GPT to compile all my notes. I after after having broken up the chats into multiple chats, I'm not having extremely high hopes. Now, I think again I think the idea the idea is there. The idea is there, and it's a very good idea, I think. I think it's very possible, and it's probably more I could do in terms of post production to get the effect that I'm looking for. But I don't have extremely high hopes that it's going to work immediately.
Got it. Well, let's see how it goes. Even if it's not perfect, it could still give you a good starting point for post-production. It's all part of the creative process, right? Plus, you've got all these interesting tea notes to work with now. Let's wrap up this steep and see what we can do with your notes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely a good start. Should have saw what I was doing last week or whenever I did. Maybe 2 weeks ago, I had another session. It was pretty awful, and then maybe a week or two before that one, I've been doing this for a while, trying to make a system for writing out notes, and well, it's been bad. It's been real bad, but slowly improving. So it's gonna just keep improving.
That's the spirit. It's all about iterating and refining the process. Each attempt teaches you something new, and you're building towards a system that works. The journey might be bumpy, but it sounds like you're making progress.
Yeah.
Keep at it.
Do you know if there are a lot of really nice systems out there for evaluating tea or coffee or wine that you can offhand think about?
Yes, there are several well-regarded systems for evaluating beverages like tea, coffee, and wine. For tea, there's the tea cupping method, where you evaluate the dry leaves, the infusion, and the liquor for aspects like aroma, flavor, and appearance. For coffee, the coffee tasting or cupping method is popular, focusing on fragrance, flavor, aftertaste, acidity, body, and balance. For wine, there's the WSET systematic approach to tasting, which involves assessing the wine's appearance, nose, palate, and conclusions about its quality and readiness for drinking. Each system has its nuances, but they all aim to provide a structured way to evaluate and appreciate the beverage.
I love that you just mentioned readiness to drink because some teas are not ready to drink. And that's a great thing to keep in mind for myself if I ever want to note that, especially for like teas that need to be aged, or some teas might be beyond their drinking potential stage because I just waited too long to drink them and they're not fresh anymore. So what's another term I could use for that to accommodate for both of those? Some teas being not ready to drink, they need to be aged more, or some teas needing to be thrown away because they have been they're stale or they're too old or whatever.
A term you might use is optimal drinking window. This refers to the period when a tea is at its best for consumption. For some teas, like certain pu'er or oolongs, the optimal drinking window might be years after production, allowing them to age and develop complexity. For others, like green or white teas, freshness is key, and they should be enjoyed within a certain time frame to capture their delicate flavors. Using optimal drinking window can help you note whether a tea is ready to drink, needs more aging, or has passed its prime.
So I want this to be something that I can note in a notebook or in a GPT or whatever when I'm taking notes. So I'm going to be drinking a tea, for example, I'm drinking tea today. Narcissus, hello, you've been drinking tea with me. And when I'm drinking it, I want to evaluate whether it is within the optimal drinking window or whatever the term is you just said. So what would I say? Like, how would I write that down as a specific item for me to note for a specific tea?
You could create a section in your notes called Drinking Window. Under this, you might have subcategories like Optimal, Needs Aging, or Past Peak. For example, you could write Drinking Window, Optimal, Ready to drink now. Drinking Window, Needs Aging, Benefits from more aging. Drinking Window, Past Peak, Flavors have diminished. This way, you can quickly note the tea's readiness for drinking and refer back to it later.
Perfect. And is there another term I can use other than drinking window? What you said is perfect and exactly what I want. But I want a term that's a little bit easier to understand, so that anybody who is not like fully initiated on what I'm writing would understand what I'm talking about.
You could use the term best before. It's simple and widely understood. For example, best before, ready to drink now. Best before, benefits from more aging. Best before, flavors have diminished.
I don't really like it. Can give workshop another 5 terms.
Sure, here are some options. Best before. Readiness. Ready to drink now. Best before. Peak time. Best enjoyed now. Maturity. Needs more aging. Quality window. Flavors at their best. Prime. At its peak. Hopefully, one of these resonates with you for your tea notes.
Quality window sounds cool. Hey, but again, it sounds cool, but I like the term personally, and I think I would probably use it, but it doesn't seem like it would be immediately understood if someone didn't know already what I was talking about.
Got it. How about something even simpler, like freshness status? It directly hints at the condition of the tea without needing much explanation. So, freshness status. Optimal. Ready to drink now. Freshness status. Needs aging. Benefits from more aging. Freshness status. Past peak. Flavors have diminished. This term is straightforward and should be easy for anyone to grasp.
I actually like it a lot, but again, a lot of the teas are not meant to be fresh. Right? If I'm saying the freshness status, I usually say status, and your accent's it's making me shift a little bit anyway. Freshness status, if I'm drinking a pu'er that's aged, it doesn't taste fresh, and it's not meant to taste fresh, and it's not meant to be fresh, so it doesn't really fit with freshness status, but it might be ready to drink. So is there another term that might fully encompass that too?
Good point. Let's try ideal timing instead. It captures the concept of when a tea is best enjoyed, whether it's fresh, aged, or somewhere in between. Ideal timing, ready to drink now. Ideal timing, benefits from more aging. Flavors have diminished.
I
This
don't really
term
like
is
it. Can you give me 6 more?
Of course. How about these? 1. Tea stage. 2. Readiness level. 3. Flavor peak. 4. Quality phase. 5. Prime time. Any of these feel like a better fit?
So right now I like freshness status, I like quality window, I like readiness, and I like quality phase.
Great. Since you like those, you could go with readiness for a straightforward option. It's clear, easy to understand, and applies to various stages of tea, from fresh to aged. How does that sound?
Could you suggest 5 more that are similar to these?
Sure thing. Here are 5 more. Ripeness. Condition. Apex. Vitality. Potency. Do any of these resonate with you?
Not so much.
No worries. It sounds like readiness might be the best fit from the previous options then. It's clear, easy to understand, and versatile for different types of tea. What do you think?
I think you're right. I do think that you're right.
Awesome. Readiness it is then. It's a solid choice that should serve you well in your tea notes. Enjoy using it as you continue your tea adventures.
Okay, I think this is going to be all that I'm doing for using advanced voice mode. I'm going to switch to using O1, and yeah, um, see you in a bit, I guess.
Sounds good. See you in a bit, and good luck with the rest of your tea session.
All right. Really, really, really low hopes here. Speaking to YouTube chat now. Okay, talking to the video, not to GPT anymore. I don't know how well these transcripts are saved because the chat window doesn't look so comprehensive. I feel like I talked a lot more than what it looks like it's already here. But I'm going to give it a format, and then I'm going to ask it to fill it out based on what we've talked on. Okay. Noticing some things here. I think that I've done something like this before when I've used advanced voice mode and then switched to using O1, and that worked very, very well. I was gonna say well and fine at the same time. It worked fine. However, today I spoke a lot more, and there are some parts where I was speaking in a little bit of a weird manner. And I'm noticing that there's lots of parts where it's not actually giving the transcript, it's just saying transcript unavailable, but it's saving the audio, which is helpful, I think. I think that's good in terms of it has all the information that I wanted to give it, but it's not so good in that there's no... I can't use O1 because O1 only doesn't accept audio at the moment. But that's not a problem, I don't think. I can use GPT 4.0. I can get all the notes into text form and then put it into O1. I probably don't even need O1. I just use 4.0. Alright, I'm just going to use a 4.0. Would you please convert all the spoken notes into this format? Repeat the section titled Session Observations. Titled Recurring Observations for every steep. If I did not give information for one of the... I don't know what to call these. You know, I should know what to call these because I've been doing some data science things. So I could call it some data. I'm essentially, I should be asking it to make a JSON for me. Anyway, for one of these entries, I'll just say something simple. But did not give information for the entries. Put not given. In parentheses. Oolong harsh here, growing edition storage last open, vacuum sealed, yeah. Electric kettle, porcelain gun. Oh, okay, it's working. It's working well. Oh, it's got everything. Oh, this is perfect. Oh man, this is amazing. Steep duration. Oh, no, it's not working. It's not working. Oh no, it failed. It failed. So it it remembered properly the tea I had. Actually, it didn't because it just says Wee Oolong. It doesn't say Narcissus, which it should say that, and it should know what a Narcissus Wee Oolong is. Um, okay. But it does remember that I had vacuum sealed bags. It remembers the kettle, porcelain gaiwan, glass cup, silver, glass pitcher, silver cup. It has the water temperature I used. It says I'm using glacial profile, mineral profile for water. It remembers 6.5 grams. So it's got all that in good memory. Doesn't remember the environmental factors, because I told it the date and time and the ambient temperature. So, and then it's saying that it has a memory of applesauce, the scent of the dry leaves being like applesauce. I said a little bit more than that, just applesauce. It was like a dry scent. Something about the dryness of it was important. Didn't capture that. And then it starts with the steeps, and it just has no information about any of the steeps. It just says not given for anything. And then it says I'm fully engaged with my personal focus was fully engaged, but it doesn't have any of the actual tasting notes. So it's not telling me the scent of the wet leaves, how it looked. Doesn't mention the pour, which I mentioned for most of the steeps, I believe. Doesn't say anything about sediment of the liquid. Nothing about any of the flavors or the intensity of the flavors or the location of the flavors, which I mentioned all that for the early steeps. Nothing about the aftertaste. Nothing about the mouthfeel. Nothing about the body feel. And it only went through one steep and not through all the steeps, which I wanted to do. Okay. So I don't really know how to... I know how to do some troubleshooting. But I also think that whether or not it worked directly, since I've streamed all of this, I can just get the transcript from the stream and input that directly into GPT and probably get all the information I want. So that's pretty helpful. I'm gonna try that. I think I have to wait till the stream is over, so I won't be able to do it on stream. Well, I guess that's all there is to say. We did it. So you kind of get the format. You see what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to take good tea notes. And it's a general idea of how I feel and drink when I'm drinking tea. I usually don't talk as much, obviously, because I'm usually drinking tea alone. And I haven't used advanced voice mode before. Not so comprehensively before. I've done it before, but not for a full tea session. So yeah, that's kind of a general idea of how I drink tea and how I serve myself. And then I'll usually write down the notes as opposed to dictating them. So I'd probably take a little longer in the typical sense to go through all the notes, but now I'm going to be using GPT, so I think that's going to be more helpful. So that gives somewhat of an idea of what I go through when I'm drinking tea, but I'm kind of excited to see how this can improve, if it does improve, as I do a bit more of this. But that was the whole point of the stream. I just wanted to document the tea tasting. Probably going to do it once a month. I'm sure I mentioned this before. I'm going to do it once a week by myself, but probably on stream for once a month. That's the idea. All right, well, I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed just watching me drink tea. So, yeah. Talk to y'all later. Oh, I'll be streaming soon because I have another stream that I want to do that I'm very excited about. Very, very, very excited about. It's going to be all about poetry. Well, it's not going to be about poetry. It's going to be about poetry. It's about art and something to do with spiritual practice and poetry. That's kind of the main idea, but I'm mostly interested in it for the poetry part and just kind of aesthetics discussion. Aesthetics as in art discussion, but not directly about art and how to make art. It's more about the nature of art. I'm excited about it. It's gonna be fun. Probably tomorrow or Sunday. It'll be soon. Anyway, coming soon.